Welcome back to A Call to Arms. Our Georgia National Guard soldiers are relatively safe here on their main base at Camp Phoenix, but from time to time most of them have to go outside the wire, as they say, to do their jobs, to visit with the Afghan police and soldiers who they're mentoring, the people who will take over security for this country when American forces leave. Shortly after my arrival here at Camp Phoenix, I accompanied some Savannah-based soldiers on one such mission here in Kabul.
Hi, listen up.
It's already getting hot in Kabul as members of the Georgia National Guard's 118th Field Artillery Regiment begin their morning convoy ride to an Afghan National Police station. Heavy armored vehicles carry the soldiers to their destination, with the watchful eyes of the top-mounted gunners constantly scanning the passing street scene.
Not get complacent, make sure you scan everything. Any person could be doing anything.
On arriving, the Georgia Guard soldiers are pleased with what they find: a well-organized precinct with cops who man machine gun posts and search everyone who comes through the front gate.
So yeah, they're much more armed at their checkpoints and at their stations for their own protection.
The Afghan presidential election is just a little over 2 weeks away now, and Afghan police officers, like this one here at the Bagrami police station in Kabul, will have a very important role to play, making sure the polling places are secure and everyone's vote is counted. For Staff Sergeant Rodney Ellison, this is more than just a job. It's a chance to make history and make a difference in the lives of countless Afghans.
Oh, that makes me feel good that we're going to be a part of changing a country, and it just makes me feel good, makes my team feel good.
The Afghan Army is benefiting a great deal from its time with the soldiers of the Georgia National Guard as well.
They are always helping us. They are training our soldiers, NCO officers, and also they are helping with the supplies at all the time.
We do more than just teach fighting. We teach accountability, we teach the units how to sustain themselves, we teach language skills. Believe it or not, some boys from South Georgia can actually, give English classes.
While I didn't see any Georgia troops teaching English to the Afghans during my stay with the soldiers, I did tag along as Afghan Command Sergeant Major Ibrahim Ahmadzai took his Georgia Guard mentor, First Sergeant Stephen Dowling, on a visit to a literacy class at Kabul's Central Military Training Center. The setting is far removed from the combat training the Peach State troops received before they deployed.
It's not what I expected to do when we left Mississippi or Georgia, but I like it. We've got a lot of good to do here. Sergeant Major Ibrahim, he's great to work with. All of my soldiers are enjoying what they're doing. There's a definite point and purpose to being here. You can see where you're making strides and changes every day, every week. They get better at what they do.
Best part, actually to know you're actually doing something to support their country to make it better.
The man in charge of the Guard's statewide 48th Brigade, Colonel Lee Durham, says this is a mission the troops can believe in.
I don't sell anybody short. I think the Afghan people have shown over and over again throughout history that they're totally capable of whatever they put their minds to.
The parade field at the Afghan National Army's 3rd Brigade headquarters just outside Kabul is a long way from the National Guard Armory in Noonan, Georgia. But that's exactly where the Noonan soldiers find themselves in mid-August, working to forge a new fighting force under the blistering Afghan sun.
The mission here is to train a brand new Kandek or battalion of Afghan soldiers. And many of them just graduated from basic training over at the Kabul Military Training Center.
This weapon is different than the AK-47.
In this class, the Georgia boys are teaching their Afghan cousins a lesson in how to disassemble and clean the American M16 rifle, which is replacing the Russian AK-47 in the Afghan arsenal. But other lessons are more subtle and can go in both directions.
It's exciting because we get to do new things. We get to operate very closely with a different nation. We get to learn their cultures and how they operate. And these people here have been fighting for eons. So they have a wealth of experience and a whole new take on how to operate as a military unit. So it's interesting to be able to gain the knowledge that they have and see if you can incorporate it into some of the ways you do things.
من میگم که قلب گرفته از سر تا پای قلب دل جگرشان باید یک چیز باشه مشترکاً به یک قسم حرکت بکنن.
While frustrations often do pop up, the Georgia soldiers understand the importance of the task at hand.
I would say this is the most important mission in Afghanistan. This mission is the future of Afghanistan. It's the future of America, because the sooner we get them trained up, the sooner we get out of here.
Right now we're at Bagram Airfield, which is the hub of all the U.S. Air Force activity here in Afghanistan. And for about 4 months, it's been home to roughly 100 members of Savannah's 165th Airlift Wing. During that entire time, these C-130s have been flying crucial missions all over the area. To understand why the U.S. military and its allies need the 165th here so desperately, it helps to know a little bit about the planes the Georgia Airmen maintain and fly. The C-130 Hercules.
I mean, that's the bottom line, is going out and supporting those young men and women outside the wire, and that's what we're doing.
Sometimes the C-130s resupply American soldiers without landing at all, dropping the supplies from thousands of feet above instead.
Green light. Load clear.
This load is going to land beside a U.S. Marine Corps forward operating base in a spot too dangerous to resupply by vehicle convoys. The deliveries are often more than just bullets and shells. As our Hercules climbed quickly into the night sky over the Afghan mountains, we were suddenly enshrouded in a cloak of darkness. But modern technology gives these warriors the ability to hide in the dark and still do their jobs. Day or night, there are plenty of Taliban on the ground ready to take a shot at the lumbering C-130. And in a valley far below, we're treated to a rare spectacle. Bright flashes in the night sky bear silent witness to a massive artillery battle on the ground.
Where the Army is where the enemy is, and where we're going is resupplying the Army.
The pilots and crew members have their hands full. On the streets of Sarobi village, cars compete with cows for space, and open-fronted shops offer brightly colored cans of soda and other sugary treats. The soldiers of the Georgia National Guard's Sarobi Valley Squadron come here often to get to know the neighborhood and to pump a little cash into the local economy.
It's great to me. I love meeting new people. They're awesome. Sometimes you can tell they charge us a little bit more than what they get it for, but it's okay. We don't mind paying the price to help them.
The soldiers' favorite food here is a special kind of bread called naan, but the troops have their own name for it.
We call it foot bread, and we call it foot bread because everybody here sits on the ground and they have their feet around and about all the dough and the working areas, and they walk on the same table they stack the bread on as it comes off. It's kind of why we ensure that when we get our bread, it's fresh out of the oven, goes right into the bag.
Perhaps the most encouraging sign in the neighborhood is the proliferation of posters for the upcoming presidential election.
I'm very happy in the next election because that is very important for our country.
It's a sentiment the soldiers appreciate because it means their work with police and soldiers here is making a difference in the lives of ordinary Afghans. Reporting from Sarobi Village, Afghanistan, Michael Jordan for the Coastal Source.